interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't make me laugh. How can I make you laugh? I don't even make, make my cats laugh. I'm sure if there is a God, he's laughing at me. Not she, but he. I just don't have it. All right. Thanks for coming. Have a great day. Bye for now. Good morning. It's Monday, October 30th. It's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. Everybody, come on. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. It says on her Facebook profile she's 118 years old today, which is still a little too young for me. I like them to have a few years on them. You know what I mean? It is Monday, start of a new week here. Monday, October 30th, 2023. And I woke up this morning. Today is Monday, trash day here. It's when the trash man comes to take all your trash away. And I don't know, I'm like really frantically nervous about not getting the trash out there in time for the trash man to take it, missing them, and then having too much out in the cubby, and then the wild animals will rip it apart and all that stuff. So I get up really early, and it was pouring rain and cold rain and still dark out and depressing as hell, leaves falling everywhere. And I just started thinking, what if this is what the afterlife is? Just one dreary fucking Monday morning. Like, if there is an afterlife, imagine that it's just one dreary Monday morning, cold, rainy Monday morning after another, where you're nervously trying to get the trash out before the trash man comes. That would be hell. And this is where I'm going. Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had a strange weekend. And I need to start off by addressing the people of District 3 in New York with a faux pas. I had my first real television interview on Friday afternoon, half hour. The host name was Travis. I don't remember his last name. It was in a real television studio, you know, upright, stick a pole up your ass, sit upright. I'm sitting there in a suit, which is not my thing. It's out of my comfort zone completely. Half hour, unedited. And I know that I asked, are you going to edit this at all? And I'm going to get a copy of it probably later this week. I think I answered, I rambled a lot. I think I answered all the questions the way I wanted to up until the last question. And I knew there were only like short, maybe 2 minutes left, short on time. And I got a question I wasn't prepared for. Bad on me. The question is, why is voting important? Come on, what am I supposed to say to that? So I got 2 minutes left, and I don't have a lot of time to think about it. I know I don't have any time to sit there and ponder what I really would want to say to that. So I gave the stock politician bullshit answer. about how if you don't vote, you have no representation, and voting is a right and a privilege, and if you don't vote, you're just a complainer, all that kind of bullshit, which is not me. I would not say that if I had time to think about how I really want to answer that. So my first television interview, I already have something to apologize for and explain. I gave you for the people on the North Shore there in District 3. I gave you a bullshit answer, and you shouldn't accept that from me. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just explaining. If I run this by the ref, I should run this by the ref. Whether this is an explanation or excuse, I'm taking full responsibility for it. But by explanation, I just did not have time. If I would have taken the last 2 minutes and said, "Let me just think about that," we would have ran out of time, and I would have given you no answer, which was probably better than the answer that I gave. But here's the answer: why is it important to vote? It's not. What? We want to get everybody out voting if possible. No, I'm sorry. Voting takes 1 second, really. Boop. It's the work that goes into voting, the homework, the learning about the candidates. So if you're a person, if you're Jordan Peterson, if you're a person who's going to go into a voting booth and look at Republican and just vote straight Republican, or you're going to look at Democrat and just vote straight Democrat without knowing anything about the candidates, please don't vote. Odds are you're going to do more damage than good. This is exactly what happened in this district when George Santos was elected. Nobody bothered to even know anything about the man. He was just a Republican, and they were all Republicans, and they just weren't sure. Everybody in the Republican row. And they fucked things up royally. So why is it important to vote? It's not. It's important not to vote if you're not going to do the fucking homework. I'm sorry. We don't need more idiots casting votes. Okay, now if you're going to do the homework, sure, then it's important to vote. It's important to get out there. But if you're not, leave it to the adults. I mean, I'm saying adults while I'm calling you fucking idiots and all that. I appreciate the hypocrisy here and just the sheer humor in this situation where I am insulting the people I expect to vote for me. But you fuck things up. You voted for, and you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed that George Santos is your representative right now. He represents you. Think about that. Hold up a picture of him and say, this person represents me. How do you feel about that? So anyway, I apologize for the political answer, and I'll try not to let it happen again. I'm still new. Again, this is not an excuse. I accept, I accept full responsibility, but I am still new to the interview process, and not sure what to do when you know you only have a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, and haven't really thought about the answer. I guess I should have just said, you know what, I really don't have a good answer for that, and not going to get one in a minute and a half. As soon as I got in my car and I was driving home, the 2 hours that it takes to get home from there, I had plenty to say about it. But I said the wrong thing. I said it's important to vote, and bullshit, patriotic, flag waving nonsense. Disregard all that if you can. Okay. So that was Friday afternoon. Then Saturday evening, I had my debut performance with Mystery Murder Dinner Theater. Tony Walker, who from Govs, Knock 'em Dead Comedy, saw something in me that I don't know if that's true. He was desperate. His main character, the guy who played one of the main characters in the show, had a bad back and couldn't do the show. And I guess he couldn't find anybody else, and was scraping the bottom of the barrel and said, "Let's give Napo a try." And that was early in the week, and he handed me the script, and I read the script probably. I don't want to exaggerate here. Probably at least 100 times, though. I memorized my lines, but the problem was I don't know. I haven't met anybody else in the cast, and the cues were all kind of confusing, a little bit confusing, and there was stuff in the show that I wasn't prepared for. Like they stopped for musical numbers, for games, for questioning, all kinds of things like that. So it was a nerve-wracking. If I say a little nerve-wracking, I'm being disingenuous. I was fucking scared shit. I've never been that nervous in my life all day long. And my wife was telling me, just read it out, read it through. I don't need to fucking act it out. I need rehearsal. And I got there early. I was the first one there. Fucking freaking out. I got notes on my phone. And it went well. And I enjoyed it, which is very odd for me to say because for years I have been mocking murder mystery dinner theater and everybody who gets involved with it. One of my drummers, or drummer I don't even speak to anymore, has a company that does that. And I was like, who the fuck goes to that stuff? That's all silly nonsense. I would never go to one of those. And there I am in one of those. Now, there were people there who recognized me as Morning Mustache Man again, which is kind of weird. Also, I had to do a little bit, a lot. I'm the first person in the room, and I have to go and greet people as a mafia guy and treat them like I know them, like it was kind of like a Goodfellas, yeah, look over there, that kind of thing. And I'm hugging strangers, and that is, if you know anything about me at all, that is not in my personality to go. I'm very shy and standoffish. Yeah, I um by nature. I'm just not somebody who goes up to strangers and hugs them. Hey, but I was doing a lot of that, and it occurred to me that you lose yourself the minute the show starts. You become engaged in it so much that you forget that you're not that person. It was very weird, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and they asked me to come back and do it more. And everybody was very complimentary uh, towards my performance. I stepped on a few lines. I know I stepped on a few lines because they were ad-libbing, going off script, and I know where my line is supposed to come in, but they weren't coming back to where my line is supposed to come in. I think at one point I pulled out a gun too soon. That's a whole other story, but it was enjoyable. And then yesterday, handling some business stuff, but again, coming back to this idea of where my hell, the hell that awaits me all weekend long, like before Friday, before my interview, I was thinking, if I could just make it to Monday, I can get back to normal. And here I am Monday, and I have a meeting today after the show, which could really be good for the show. It could. I'm talking about money, influx of money. It could be, and there's a lot of pressure on this. So I'm starting all over again. Then tomorrow I have 2 afternoon shows again. It's Halloween. I hate Halloween. My wife's birthday. We got funeral arrangements, memorial arrangements going on. My wife is celebrating her birthday under conditions of losing her father and all that stuff. And only half her gift arrived that I ordered for her. So it's it never ends. And so that's where I'm back to this idea of what if hell is just this on fucking repeat, like Groundhog Day, forever and ever and ever. It seems like we're entering the season of depression for Matt Napo. And I'm looking forward to May, man, getting back on the beach with the band, in my comfort zone where I live for just that, just to be out in the sunshine or under the stars at night on the beach, playing music and just not thinking about my hellish ground day experience. So anyway, the guys who are patiently waiting while I ramble, I'm going to bring them in right about now. Say hello to G.D. Fenderson and say hello to Willie Conway. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you? How was your weekend?
It was all right, I guess.
GD, mute.
Oh, he's doing a Willie impression.
He is. You're muted. It says your mic got a big slash to it. Look right on the screen.
Yeah.
Now you undid it. You undid it. There you go. You just had it and then you undid it.
No,
one more click. Try.
Okay.
Hello.
All right.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'm hot already. Oh,
You're
I was.
hot. Hey, man, I wish you could send some of that heat this way. I'm freezing right
Oh,
now.
it's gonna get worse for you, my friend.
Oh, I know. I
You're
know.
going to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is ready for a Arctic blast this week. On Thursday, they're supposed to get an Arctic blast.
That's when I'm going.
I know. I know. That's
Of
why I
course.
said it's gonna get worse for
Of
you.
course.
So what do
I
you?
better take a winter coat then. Jeez.
Oh, well,
I'm
I'm
pretty
still
sure.
hot.
You know what? I actually have my dad had this super cool like John Wayne looking jacket. And I only remember him wearing it a handful of times growing up. But I actually was able to get that. I'm probably going to take that to Oklahoma, like, cause it's like I said, it's like a nice warm John Wayne looking, like
If I were
tan
you,
on one side and
I'd
like
take a personal space heater with me, like a kerosene heater, and I would keep it right next to me the whole time.
And
Right.
plenty of Mind Dog coffee. Mind Dog
Yes.
coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, I get the shit.
And
Mind Dog coffee.
I always have the shits, and I drink coffee all the time, but I always have the shits. So I'm shitting right now. Ah, yes.
I have a theory that you ever want to get out of work, but you can't because you got like one of those bosses that always you got to have a really good excuse to get out of work. So this is what you do if you're one of those people. You're trying to get out of work where you got a really nasty boss that won't let you. Before you go to work, run through the Taco Bell drive-thru. Okay. Now I know. I said Taco Bell for breakfast. That's what I'm telling you. Now you eat that in your car before you go into work. All right. Now it's gonna take about 15 or 20 minutes.
No, it ain't.
But you're gonna shit yourself completely. And you just make sure that you're in close proximity to your boss when that happens. They're gonna send your ass home. Now your life is going to be pretty fucking unbearable for the next 3 hours, but after that, you're gonna have a nice day off.
Yeah, but no, my life is going to be unbearable forever. I'm going to be a guy known as the guy who shits himself forever.
Right.
It's going to be shitty Matt, shitty stinking Matt. Here he comes.
That's why when I had to do that, I used chocolate pudding. I did not go to Taco Bell. I just had chocolate pudding and squeezed it between my legs because they're in these
that's still the same perception.
No,
or you're saying that
because first of all, you don't have the scent. Okay, what you do is you just go, "Oh, I am so sorry," and you reach back and you just touch it. Go, "Oh my, I am so sorry," and then knowing it's chocolate pudding. I really should go home and change this.
And then he pukes all over you, and then you know there's pukey shitty.
I mean, I think you get fired for being too much at that point. Like accidentally pooping yourself, okay, pooping yourself and then tasting it in front of everybody. Like you got to go. You don't have a job anymore. Get out of here.
Yeah. And maybe so I don't have to get out of work anymore, and I got out of work. And I'm never going back to work. I just don't. I'm allergic to bosses.
You're living that nice, relaxed, retired life.
Unless I get elected to Congress, and then I have to go back to work.
Man. Yeah, then your boss
is the people. Then your boss is the people.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. And you know what? I keep saying I have no chance to win this thing, and everybody keeps telling me, no, I think you do. Like, what the fuck are you?
Hey, listen, you got a fighter's chance, in my opinion, for sure. For sure you do.
It didn't start off well. I mean, I think I rambled a bit, and because I know what rambling feels like. When I
yeah, you mentioned it a little bit ago.
Right. And
you rambled on about it earlier. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
and I know but from the interviewer's perspective, I know when you have a guest on and you ask them a simple question. There are a couple of extremes. Like last week, we had a guy on who gave me yes or no or maybe answers, which that's not good. But then sometimes you'll ask somebody a simple question, and 15 minutes later, you're thinking, I should have went and got a cup of coffee while he was answering this because. It's they just go on and on. I think I was.
How long does that happen with me?
All the time.
I'm just wondering.
Well, let's count the 3 times it didn't happen. So there was no. So there was October 18th. I remember that day. No.
The issue with you, Willie, is sometimes you don't get to the point. It's like it's not that you're rambling on. It's or it's taking a long time to answer a question, but most of the time it's just getting started. Well, it's okay. Like there are, when, there was a time.
I do that.
You'll start a story. He'll start a story that happened on like October 25th, and you go like, well, October 25th. Well, actually, let's go back to October 10th. Well, no. Well, I'm gonna take you back to October 2nd. All right, I'm gonna take you back to 2019. Well, see, before I was born, my parents are fucking. Okay, and that's how he does. He keeps going backwards.
I mean, I just wanted to paint a clear picture. Is all.
Right. Yeah.
The thing is, you run out of paint. God. You run out of paint, and there's still no picture. That's no problem.
Listen, I'm no Bob Ross. Okay, I'm no Bob Ross.
So we don't have a guest today. The guest is going to reschedule. I screwed up. Here's a couple of things in the scheduling that I screwed up. Next week is not our 500th and my 500th anniversary of Coffee with the Dog. It's 2 weeks from today. So Andy has moved to November 13th. So that show, people who wanted to book that show have now moved to that date. So this date is open. We have no guests today. And I was too lazy yesterday to try to go get a guest. I didn't have it in me. It's been a while since we've had no guest show where I could just say, I don't have to prepare for anybody. I don't have to worry about anything. But so that's where we're at today. We have no guests today, which is fine. But I got a guest request on Podmatch. I want to. This is an unusual. They don't come in like this. Usually they come in, hi, this is what I do. I would love to be on your show. They almost always say they're big fans of the show and listen to the show, which I know is a fucking lie. Nobody listens to. None of these fucking people who say they listen to the show have ever listened to the show because they're always surprised when they get here about what really goes down. So, but this is a guest request. My friend, you seem Tobias with a mustache that try us. Our patience and courage to spare your truth virus. Should you wear a crown, it would look like a palace, atop a shining hill forged like a phallus. Let me be on your show. This poem was fun to write, but it's getting really late, so I have to say goodnight. One last thing before I should part from your portrait silhouette and evident heart. If you could all but choose between forever cheese or hair, would you wear a hat or mind it if people stared? Cheese has been my choice as I could trade a tan for a phantom Rolls Royce and love's labors one. That doesn't rhyme, but it keeps on going on. But sad are my profits from new friends and old, but offer me cheddar, you're as good as gold. It's I'll join you on that mountain, that Valhalla for cows, because many did die for the cheese we eat now. I hope you're friends now. I hope we're friends now. My efforts confound me. 2 million of nights. Forgivable rounding. That's a guest request. What do you?
I'm concerned that he killed cows to make cheese. Doesn't he understand that you don't have to kill cows to make cheese?
You don't have to kill a cow.
No.
That disturbs me.
This is probably just a request that was sent from the poet laureate of the state of Wisconsin. Is probably what this is.
But in Wisconsin, you think they know not to kill the cow because you got to make more cheese later. That sounds like a Chicago thing where they're using the cow for cheese and meat. Cheese and sausage. The same cow.
Would you approve this
show because they seem bat crap crazy, and I definitely want to talk to them.
You would approve this guest, right? That was going to be my question. Do I approve it? Yeah. GD,
please.
Well, if you want to put them on the daytime with myself and Willie, hell yeah. That's a buffer for you.
I would not.
If you want to If you would have put him on Nighttime by yourself, yeah. Nighttime by yourself, I wouldn't do it. Okay. Yeah, so that's my answer. Nighttime by yourself, no. In the daytime with a buffer, yeah.
Well, could I just walk away and leave you two guys with him if he's just like too fucked up for me?
You can leave him with me.
That's great.
Yeah.
And hey, thanks for calling me buff. I have been working out. I appreciate you noticing that, GB. I really do. My son even said something to me yesterday about how he was so happy that I've been working out every morning and stuff.
Buffer, not buff.
Oh.
Yes.
He thought I was saying. Yeah, he thought I was saying he was buffer than last time we saw him.
So, you mentioned the cow. He mentioned the cows.
No.
It was a Halloween costume also with the murder mystery thing. And there was a woman in she was kind of heavy set, and she had this white thing with black dots all over it. And Tony.
And udders.
Yeah, Tony called her a cow, but she turned out her costume was a Dalmatian. And I thought, that's something I would do. I mean, that's like sticking your whole leg down your mouth, not just your
foot. I mean, did he not look at the tail? I mean, there's distinctly different tails on those two animals. I just want to say.
Listen, you see a fat
woman. That's why I
see a fat woman, a heavy set
woman.
Listen,
if I see a fat girl, I'm checking out the tail immediately. I love big asses. What are you talking about?
I know, but you see her in a big white fluffy costume with black dots all over it. Your mind immediately goes to cows, I guess. I thought she was a cow, but I wouldn't. I'm glad I didn't say it. But
I would look for udders. I'm a confirmation. I'm like,
well, there were plenty of others there, but they weren't dressed like cows. Oh, others.
I think this conversation has gotten utterly ridiculous.
Utterly ridiculous. And I kind of crossed the line there right at the start. Because I was supposed to be just greeting people, hugging them. Hey, how you doing? And there was this guy with a kind of a beer belly on him. And I gave him the Luca Brasi line. And may your first child be a masculine child. He did not appreciate it.
That's fucking hilarious, though. Hang on. He didn't laugh, but did people around him laugh?
No, I don't. They were just starting to get into the whole drift of it. They would.
Right.
I'm the first guy in, and they're like, "Oh, what is this all about?"
Yeah, they're not really into the game yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love improv dinner theater. It's to me, it's one of the most fun things as an entertainer. It's probably the most fun I've ever had. Like, well, I love improv.
I have tried improv and failed miserably at it. And you can see, I mean, I hate to, go see me embarrass myself. But if you find Zach Wiseman's PowerPoint Showdown when I was on there, it was embarrassing. But this is not pure improv. It's a script that the guys who have been doing it every weekend for 25 years got bored with. And they run off script a lot of times in improv. Right. And
that's what we had. We had a skeleton script, and then there was just bonus.
This isn't a skeleton script. The
producers told us to play with it.
This is 15 pages of real script. I mean, it's got cues and action stuff, and stuff you're supposed to do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a
skeleton. Because we had that. We had songs and stuff like that, and because I remember one of the guys in the cast was supposed to be like a real classic rock kind of guy or whatever, and my character was a wigger that was super into rap or whatever. And this classic rock dude, it was always scripted that he would make fun of Tupac Shakur, right?
Now, you said wigger. Can't we use the W word?
I thought so. I mean, that's what I was though. I was like, is that not allowed? Is that not allowed now?
The W word,
right? Wigger.
You have to say the W word, so people will say.
I did say it.
No, you said you said it. You said it all full out.
Wait. Okay, so
you said wigger.
You're telling me you can't say the W word now.
You can't say any words now. Everything has to start with an initial.
I mean, you are. I did get in trouble for calling myself a gypsy soul the other day. I don't know how is that?
Gypsy is a thing. You're not supposed to say gypsy. Yeah, so many words you can't say.
Isn't Tyson Fury like the gypsy something? Like the guy who's like the boxer Tyson Fury, doesn't he go by like the gypsy something?
I don't know. Probably.
I mean, this is what
There
I
was a
don't get.
team that
You know
went
what I
by
mean?
Washington Redskins. I don't know if you're familiar, if you heard of them, but then they don't call themselves that anymore. Um, but yeah, no, I was just being silly. I don't know. I don't know if you could say no. Well, all of a sudden we got an echo. What happened? Somebody turned on a radio. Somebody turned on. You got it.
My fault.
Hello,
My fault. I turned
hello,
it off.
caller. You have to turn down your radio if you want to talk to the host. It's still there.
Dude, I used to try and call into the radio all the time when I was a kid.
There you go. Hello.
My radio station did like movie clip, and like if you could
Yeah, that's good.
recognize the movie
Is it over?
clip, and we were like every 30 days we would win that shit like clockwork. Like Conways are calling in. It's their 30 days.
Well, here's the thing. A thought that crossed my mind yesterday, and it didn't cross my mind in the moment, so that proves that it's not really offensive. But if I did a Asian accent here, or if I did an Indian accent, a real, Indian accent, or Pakistani, or Asian accent, it would be offensive, and people would try to be canceling. Oh, you can't do that. That's offensive. That's biased, that's bigoted, whatever it is. But during this play, this murder mystery thing, dinner theater, everybody is putting on a phony Italian accent and stereotyping Italian people. And I know I was really the only Italian in the cast. But, and they're all putting it on really heavy, like stuff that would make my grandmother blush. That's okay. That's not offensive to portray every Italian as a big fat goomba wop, dago, and use all that language. And complete, bastardizing the Italian language and putting on those fake Italian accents. That's all cool, but you can't do it if they're from Asia, or you can't do it from any other. It's just weird. And I'm not offended by it, but I think that there is a hypocrisy there.
There's total hypocrisy. It's just like saying that there's not that minorities can't be racist or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I see, dude, listen, if how you treat somebody, how you talk to them, if that has anything to do with what race they are, no matter which way it is, no matter if you're a black person towards white people, a white person to whatever, Asians towards Asians, Native Americans towards Native Americans. Like, I know I got a Native American friend that can't stand other Native Americans, and he's very racist towards them, and he'll say really mean ass shit to them. And to me, it's not okay for him to say that shit just because he's also Native. That's fucking stupid. Hate is hate, no matter how you slice it. If you're treating people based upon the color of their skin or their fucking heritage in any type of way, it's a form of fucking racism, and I don't see how you can call it anything else. And be honest with yourself.
Yeah. I agree. I blame the white people.
no.
You mean the albino? You mean the albinos?
Yeah, the really white ones. The really white ones. Yes, the really white ones. The ones that come in every race, but they're all white.
The showy ones.
Yeah. Instead of saying, I just said that because as a general rule of thumb, I agree with you that hate is hate. But then you get these purists who distinguish between, and I had become one for a while, to distinguish between someone who is racist, someone who's prejudiced, someone who's a supremacist, and because when you're experiencing
those are all distinctions.
Yeah, and it helps to be able to explain to your child, there's like, no, honey, that man is not prejudiced, he's a supremacist. There's a difference why he called you that word,
Right.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Did you see Saturday Night Live at all? I didn't see. I don't watch the show. I've never watched.
I heard it was really good though.
Nate Bargatze was on, and I saw the monologue. The monologue was pretty fucking good. And then I saw
solid comic.
He did a sketch. They did a sketch with him playing George Washington, laying out a dream for the new nation. And there's a black guy in the cast. I don't know who he is. I probably should know him. I think
Michael Che?
I don't know. I'm thinking it's that other guy, Tracy. But what
I know Michael Che's the one that does the Weekend Update.
is he? That
he's
is
one
he
of the
that is he that token black guy? No, I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
there's a couple black guys on the cast right now, but I think Michael Che. I don't know the other guys.
The point I'm getting here now, in the sketch, Washington is laying out his dream for America, and the black guy keeps asking him about the slaves, and Washington says, "You ask about temperatures." No, I didn't. He can't hear any of the black guy's concerns about the new nation at all. Every time he asks a question, it's like I didn't hear that. I'm too preoccupied with the other stuff he's talking about. But it's pretty funny. It's a good sketch. I would ask people to check that out. Podcast cringe guy. Podcast.
I wrote I'm sorry. There was a while ago I was asked to write a sketch for Black History Month, and so I had two different sketches in mind, and the one I wanted to do, because I let them pick which one. I wrote two sketches. I let them pick, and one of them was about a black woman, and this is back in slavery time still, so it's a period piece. A black woman who got her freedom because her massa died, and she got her freedom, and so she bought her husband's freedom, but she didn't free him. So and see, you're laughing, and that's the way I had it, like that. And
I'm
so
sure that happens with white people all the time, because I think my wife did the same thing. She bought my freedom, but I'm not free.
So that was the sketch. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
Well, no, I was gonna say I can't remember what I was watching. Oh, it was somebody had went through George Washington's old house or whatever, and they went to the slave quarters or whatever. And I know somebody was talking about it, but they they found out, and I didn't know this, that so Washington had four slave children or whatever, I guess, and only freed two of them during his lifetime.
Yeah.
And I was just, dude, I was astounded by that. I was just I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having your own children in slavery,
Right.
And like
you can't get them to listen any other way. You have 7 kids, you can't get them to listen any other way.
I mean, I do think I guess you know what. Now that you mention it, I got to be honest. You're right. It does make sense. It's totally why my father had children. Sure.
Brian Grzanka, it looks like Grzanka. Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Brian. Since Devin Walker is the SNL cast member that I was talking about. Anyway, it was a very good sketch.
So it was the choking guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
No.
Well, because Che's not choking. Che has earned his keep. Once you earn your keep, you're no longer choking. Devin is choking. Yeah, he's choking.
His stand-up is really good too. He's got a special out.
It's okay. It's okay.
They're pretty good.
Che's good. No, Che is good.
Yeah.
Devin's his stand-up is okay.
It was pretty good in that sketch.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about something else. Podcast cringe guy. You familiar with him? I've talked about him a couple of times. Podcast cringe guy.
Podcast who guy?
Cringe. He's got a YouTube channel, Podcast Cringe. He doesn't have a name that I know of. He must have a name, but it's not on his YouTube channel. He's just Podcast Cringe, and he does basically. He's a Tom Segura hater. He's a Joe Rogan fan, but not Joe Rogan's comedy. He's a fan of he does a lot
of. He's definitely an independent thinker. That sounds good.
He's a podcast review guy, and I heard his feelings. I heard his feelings by 3-5 months ago, something like this. He had an opinion about somebody he was talking about, and he said that person, he either said that person is generally a very conservative person or that person is a very liberal person. I don't remember what he said, but it was somebody, and I can't even remember who he was talking about. But I knew he was wrong about that. It's like somebody I had spoken to, somebody I have had on the program. I said, no, that guy, if he was saying he was very far left, the guy was really very far right. Like, so I wrote in the comments, you lost me. I'm unsubscribing because if you're going to call that person this, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's what I said 5 or 6 months ago. So I unsubscribed, and I am unsubscribed, but I still see the stuff. YouTube still shows it to me, and every once in a while I'll watch it. And he had a good one the other day about how Joe Rogan ruined podcasting, and it was all about the greed and all that kind of stuff. And I left a comment on there saying, basically, because he was saying how they bank podcasts, and by the time they get out, sometimes they're irrelevant. That news is past. And I said, I'm basically saying what we do here every day is live stuff. And he came back. He said, I thought you were unsubscribing. And I was like, I did. And you won me back with some good analysis. Is that a bad thing? And then I thought about it and I said, hey, wait a minute. You remember 5 months ago that I left a negative comment and said I was unsubscribing? Either I'm very memorable or you get way too butthurt by negative comments. If I remembered everybody who said they were unsubscribing or hated my guts or all that stuff, I'd have to keep an encyclopedia of a big book like that.
A list of offenders.
This was like seconds after I wrote it, so he knew right away. Matt Napple, hey, that guy that left maybe I'm the only one who ever left a negative comment for him, but I doubt that.
Bro.
My question is, how many subscribers does he have? Because I have few enough subscribers that I pretty much can know them all by name.
Yeah, you know them all by name.
Yeah. Okay. So if somebody left, I'd call and go like, "Hey, Sally, what happened?"
I think he has about the same. I think he has about the same number that I do, which is about 13,500, somewhere like that. But he's only been in business less than a year, so good for him. I mean, it took me, I don't know, it took me 64 years to get 13,500. I've been on YouTube for 64 years, by the way.
When you started smoking pot.
Yeah. So, but what was the last thing I said to him on there? That I am still unsubscribed. It's just that the algorithm just knows that I'm going to get hooked on that kind of stuff, so they keep showing me. But he has had some good stuff. But here's where I'm getting to. I want to encourage him, if anybody knows him, to do a negative review about me. Tell the world how much I suck. I could use the publicity. I mean, because his channel's going, and I'm sure
maybe you can tell the world how cool we are. Also,
no. Nobody's gonna pay. Nobody's gonna click on. Oh, you guys really? You should check these guys out. They're pretty cool.
Oh, no, I should start talking shit about us on my posts.
Not you, him.
Oh,
others.
Okay.
You should encourage other people to say we suck, so that other people. Oh, I got to see how bad this is.
And I feel like I don't have to encourage people to do that.
I think you do. I think
I don't know, dude. Maybe
Maybe
what it is, I need people to stop telling me personally, and then just tell the internet, tell everyone,
right.
Tell everyone.
Yeah.
How bad.
Yes. That annoys the hell out of me. I can't tell you how often I have more people who will text me and email me and DM me about how funny something was or bad. And I said, put the comments out there.
Right.
I said, I don't care if it's good or bad. I said, put it out there. I said, because it's word of mouth. I said, there are a lot of people who don't even know I'm still doing comedy. And you're saying, like the other day, I got recognized in the store from something I did like 3 years ago. The guy goes, comedy guy. And I was like, I said, yeah. And I looked at him and he goes, the college. And I went, all right, I narrowed it down. But as soon as he said the college, I knew, there's like only so many college shows I've done. And I recognized him. I said, that's the guy that was standing in the back for the whole show. I said, that was the janitor who should have been working, and he watched the whole show.
So here's the thing I want to put out there. If people want, podcast cringe guy, he's Australian. He's got like an Australian accent. I think he's Australian anyway. So I've asked for Australian friends who I know who could either do an Australian accent. I have several friends who are in Australia, but they have to be guys. Angie, who was Angie Bryers, who's been on the program a couple of times, she's Australian and she volunteered to do it. But it's got to be a guy. I want to do like a parody of him saying how much we suck, and like send it to him. Just kind of juice him. And I would encourage anybody to go out on YouTube and look for Podcast Cringe and go in his comment section and just say, you got to check out Mind Dog. Let me know if you think they suck or what. Just encourage him to review this program and tell the world how much we suck so we can get some traffic.
Did you text me something about this? Because now
They
it's
put it on
starting,
Facebook.
the more you talked about this, it's starting to sound familiar. Like I read it in a text or something. Did you
It's
text
a Facebook
me about
post.
this?
Yeah,
Was it?
I Facebook posted last night. Yeah.
I'm thinking about participating in No Nut November. What do you guys think about that? Do you
No
guys know?
Nut-
Do you guys know about this? Do you know what this is?
No.
So, what about you, GD? Have you ever heard of this? No Nut
I hope
November?
not, because my wife just bought me a half a pound of hazelnuts from the West Coast,
No,
and I still got a quarter pound to go through.
Yeah,
What about
as a one
One Nut
bald man, it
November?
made me nervous to hear about it at first too, because I was like, "Whoa, I don't know," But no, what it is it's just like sober October. People go sober for the whole month of October. They don't do drugs or alcohol or whatever. Well, No Nut November is you go the entire month of November without ejaculating, like with others or yourself.
Oh.
So I was thinking about participating in No Nut November. I mean, I feel like my wife could use a break. You know what I mean? It's like that poor lady.
I'll do No Nut Wednesday.
What about your poor What about your poor cows, though? You say your wife could use a break.
Whoa. Are you saying you've seen our movie? All right. Anyway, I'm sorry.
The thing with the cows, he pulls out with the cows, so they don't know.
Yeah, I have a real thing for low hanging fruit. I don't know what's up with that. It's just like,
Yeah. So anyway, so
So
yeah,
saggy breath.
I just lastly on the podcast cringe guy. I've talked about him before in his analysis. Most of the time his analysis is very good. I mean, he does a deep look at some of what these podcasters doing. He talks a lot about the Brendan Schaub, all the people in Rogan's circle there who have come in and out of favor. Bert, he's done quite a few on Bert. He's done a couple on Segura. Those people. But his stuff is pretty good. So I have mentioned him in the past. But again, if you would go there and just nudge him towards calling us out, or calling me out, that would be good. I can take it. I can take all the abuse as long as it brings traffic and eyes and subscribers. I don't fucking care. Trying to build the numbers up here.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because I'm annoyed that people
groups and stuff too. Sorry.
What was that?
I'm just saying. I just get annoyed the fact that bookers use those things as a metric to whether or not they want to hire you. And
yeah, I know.
So I hate. I would love it if some hacker came along and erased all the subscriber data, so nobody knows how many subscribers there are. Now got to start over again.
Yeah, but for me, it matters for for business stuff, and you can't. Some people, I don't want to name his name. A guy who used to run a newspaper here, and he had false numbers of subscribers on his stuff, and he was like, he's saying I should do that, and I was like, if I did that, first of all, it's against the law. I'm breaking the law, and I doubt I'd ever be prosecuted for that. But they will find out, and once they find out, your reputation is shot, and nobody's going to ever advertise with you again. So, I'm not for that, but there are people who will definitely do that. I don't know that you can do that. I mean, you can buy bots on social media, but you can't manipulate the numbers like you can on a website or a newspaper. And say, he had it on his newspaper. It said like, 100,000 daily subscribers or something like that. And really, in fact, he had 2,000 at tops. Right. So. But they will figure that out, and that's why his paper went under anyway, because he was lying to them. So you can't do that. Let's play. Since I brought it up. Oh, wait, that's not the thing. That was just the still. I got to get rid of the still. This comedians who are funnier than Segura. I bet you Willie's muted. Ah, you're a bum. Get out of town. Today I'm going to go with a guest who will be with us next week, Adam Snare, who is Adam is in Florida right now. He's got a show in Georgia this week. He will be with us next week because he's going to be at Governor's. Don't be breaking shit. We're going to have to take everything away from him. Adam is a graduate of Stanford University.
When I did that as an adolescent, they made me start seeing a counselor.
We're gonna. First of all, we don't have enough money to replace all the things you're breaking. Take all that stuff away from you. You broke your keyboard. You broke your trophy. Stop breaking stuff.
And you notice that's when I start. My mic doesn't unmute and mute anymore because I don't have. It's like I have to touch the screen now, and my screen is slow to respond. I touch the screen, and it goes like, "You touched me. Give me a second." And that's what happens.
You're taking this way too personal, Sonny. It's business.
Yes, I'm taking it businessly. I'm only breaking business equipment. I'm not breaking personal equipment.
It's a line from The Godfather. Anyway, you're taking it way. You would know if you saw the best movie that was ever created, but no, you just refuse.
I saw Silverado.
Silverado.
Dude, hey, you know what? That is a good movie.
You said the best. You said the best movie ever created. I saw Silverado.
No. It's on the list. Silverado's on the list. It's below Unforgiven, though. You got Godfather, Godfather 2, Unforgiven.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Let me finish. You got Godfather, Godfather 2, The Unforgiven, Fort Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective, and then Silverado.
Oh no, Fort Fairlane. Now I feel like Madeline Kahn. Fallon. I couldn't.
Fort Fairlane Rock and Roll Detective is a cinematic classic, and anybody who doesn't agree with that needs to go watch it 3 times today. It will grow on you if you haven't.
It'll grow on you. That sounds like sounds like my first marriage. Yeah, that's like our first marriage. It grew on me.
Yeah. But Adam Snare will be with us next week, and he is a graduate of Stand Up University who was actually doing very well. And is
when are you doing your class?
I think it starts next Tuesday night. Yeah,
cool.
Next Tuesday night.
I'm excited for that. Having those good, that was a really good job. And I should get at them about being on Stand Up Memories because we could definitely talk about the days where I was a house MC at Nitwits. I mean, I have a lot of interactions with a lot of top names back in that time.
Well, I was supposed to be on Stand Up Memories about a year ago. I was supposed to go to the studio, but Zin is the guy who runs the studio, and I had threatened to rip his head off. So that didn't work.
Well, I've only spoken kind things to Michael. So
you will be welcome. And I don't think you're going to get to Plainview, New York to go do it, but you would be welcome in the studio.
I mean, listen, my wife knows New York is in our future eventually. I'm like, come on. Like, I got way too much that I want to be doing to not get there.
Yeah, you need a smoke, don't you? You need a cigarette. I could tell you're rocking back.
No, I'm freezing, bro. It's like 50 degrees in here. Like
50.
I'm very cold.
Okay.
Like, I'm worried that, because I can't see, my image very well, so I'm worried that, little bits of snot are starting to come out.
You always have snot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, people, if you don't have snot, people think there's something wrong with you. They'll go like, is he dehydrated? There's no snot.
I just think you just took a facial, like somebody just came along.
They did call me snotty on the playgrounds growing up in elementary school because I always had that double line of frozen snot, just like the snot mustache from just running around, playing, breathing real hard. You just have
Wow.
this snot, frozen mustache across your face. You ever have that?
Yeah.
That's not something I'm familiar with. That's not something I'm familiar
Snot.
with. That's
Oh,
not. No, it's
snot.
not.
It's not.
Not. No.
Anything else with that's interesting? Oh, you know what? Yesterday in church, the Rev was talking about. It was it was not something I would necessarily go to for a comedy topic to approach mass shootings, but I think he overlooked the one that we knew there was one, what, Friday or something, Thursday or Friday, one in Lewiston, Maine, but there was one Saturday night into Sunday in
You're bored. Right?
Yoba City,
Your YBOR.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and that one wasn't even included. So I did get a couple of phone calls like that was really inappropriate this morning. And I was like, shut the fuck up. It's comedy. But well, a couple of people were tweaked about it. And it still comes back to the thoughts and prayers people don't want to do anything else. I mean, I understand they don't want a weapons ban, and let's agree for the sake of argument. Okay, we're not going to have a weapons ban, and even the insurance idea that the Rev was it's not a crazy idea. It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. It's
But
not.
they don't want to have any of that. What do they want? Can I get them to say anything more than thoughts and prayers? And no, it's like they got nothing. That's it. Thoughts and prayers. That's an aftermath thing. That's not dealing with the problem. That's dealing with the hearts and souls that have been broken because of the problem. But it's not doing anything to stop the problem. And I got a lot of people angry at me when I said, do you even fucking care? Because if you fucking cared, you'd come up with something, anything. I don't care if we agree on it or not, but do you have any fucking plan to stop this shit? Do you? Or
Yeah,
you
let's have the conversation. Let's have an intelligent conversation involving solutions and not prayers and not thoughts.
Right.
Right.
Well,
but this is not a solution-based society. You know what I mean?
I brought
this
that
is a
up in my
band-aid
interview.
society all day.
Yeah.
Like we don't fix problems. We fix the visual of problems.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We throw money.
We don't care what's actually going wrong. We just care what it looks like.
Right.
Right. I remember during the Bush 2 administration, they were having people were saying we want to get rid of hunger. So what the Bush administration did was in their books they stopped calling it hunger and they referred to it as nutritionally challenged. And then they said they eradicated hunger.
Right.
No, there's no more hunger.
Yeah.
Right. There's no more hunger because they're nutritionally challenged. Or no, the terms I may have the term mixed up, but yeah, that's what. Same thing with like No Kid Left Behind. Well, we don't call them kids anymore. We call them offspring.
Now, Ian saying it's pronounced Ebor. Generally, I would not take anything Ian says without a grain of salt, or at least checking on it. But I think he's probably right about that. I've never heard of Ebor. Either you guys ever heard of Ebor before?
I was there. I performed there, comedy.
Wow, is it a big city?
The part I was in was a building, and it was big enough for comedy. I didn't do the grand tour. I just drove into the building.
I never heard of it before. And it takes a tragedy to let you know that it exists, which is another sad commentary. But did you see that Trump and Willie? This is funny. Trump was on stage in Iowa, and he said he was welcoming everybody to Sioux Falls, and one of his aides went over. You're in Sioux City.
Oh, he must have been in Sioux City. He was in Sioux City, wasn't
Sioux City, Iowa.
Dude, that happens all the fucking time. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Between those two towns, that's the easiest way to fucking piss those people off in both towns. If you're in Sioux Falls and you say Sioux City, or if you're in Sioux City and you say Sioux Falls, fucking yeah, they're nearly going to crucify you.
Wait a minute. You could be in Sioux City and Sioux could fall.
That is true. Sioux has fallen in Sioux City before.
But you can't be in Sioux Falls and have Sioux be a city.
No.
So,
There's no city in after you fall. You can't.
yeah.
The city fell.
Yeah. So, but
it's better to be a fallen city than a fallen woman, though, right? It still is a fallen woman. Never mind.
Yes. So
I just started to think about fallen women, and I was like, I better not say anything.
Oh. Yeah. So Trump didn't know where he was, and in the same. I don't know if you've seen the speech yesterday, but he's talking about.
I mean, they all look the same kind of though. That's in the Midwest, all those towns, they look you know what I mean?
Right.
How are they fucking different, really?
Now, both of these fucking parties refuse to acknowledge that both of those fucking guys, Trump and Biden, are just grandpa.
Worthless?
Yeah, well, no, it's grandpa who can't fucking be trusted with the remote, and they're both senile. Trump's talking about how Biden can't put two sentences together, and in many cases that's true. And we've seen Biden have plenty of those.
Yeah, but Trump can't put two virtues together.
He couldn't put two sentences together at all in the speech he was giving yesterday. He was rambling from one thing to another, and he sounded far worse than you sound in the morning.
Okay,
that's terrible. That's real bad.
I did a bit. I wrote a bit like 7 years ago during Trump's first term, after a few of his speeches, and I did a bit that some people thought was hilarious about why Trump's speeches are like that. And I was explaining to them that technically he's bilingual, and and this was a bit to learn. I had to learn sign language, and what I was doing is I said Trump is actually speaking with two different groups. He's talking with his hands to his white power friends, and I was like literally signing things, but not what I was saying. So I was doing like a Trump speech and signing something else. And there was like two deaf people people who signed. I shouldn't say they were deaf. They worked ASL.
Right.
And they thought the bit was hilarious, but they also corrected me. And I explained to them, I said, you know how hard it is for someone who does not do sign language just to learn like one joke in sign language,
Right.
But they thought it was like,
dude, I never even thought about that being part of what he's doing with all that shit. You know what I mean?
No,
that's definitely reasonable.
Well, no, he got that from Tony Robbins. If you go back to Tony Robbins in the beginning of the 80s, where he's talking about unlimited power and all that stuff, he was definitely talking about hand gestures that will hypnotize people while you're giving a speech. So all this fucking accordion shit that he does is straight out of the Tony Robbins playbook, and he does a lot of this kind of and that's that's a hypnotic move. I mean, as much as I say hypnosis isn't a real thing, it is kind of, you're paying attention to that now, and you're not listening to the actual words he's saying or trying to rationalize it. You're just accepting it, watch over your face and your brain and all this stuff.
Right.
And subconsciously, you're absorbing it like a fucking sponge.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to manipulate thought patterns like that, for sure.
Yeah. And that's
we've if you I think even on America's Got Talent or something like that, those guys that can get them to like there was a guy who did something about the star or whatever, like each judge did something different or whatever, but it was this, when he turned each of the letters on the stage just one little quarter turn, and it was exactly what the judges, you know what I mean? Like, and that all happens through what they're like, they know what to suggest. They know how to lead you exactly where they want you to go. But it seems like you're arriving to these things yourself, but you're not. You're totally not. They directed you there with all that stuff.
Right. But have you ever seen Don Jr. try it? He's not as good as his father at it. Don Jr. does this all the time.
Right.
Like, that's DTs. That's DTs.
Like, I need another bump of coke, man. Anybody got some Coke in here? Anybody?
Holy fuck!
Speaking of the Trumps, I don't know if you know this. Ivanka Trump did turn. She turns 42 today. That's right.
Wow. Oh, she shares a birthday with my wife. That's a
Yeah,
little
you and
disturbing.
your wife and Ivanka Trump have the same birthday. She'll be tickled to death to know that. I'm sure.
Yeah. This is something I never told anybody. It's not like I'm not coming out. Don't get me wrong. My wife has a Facebook profile, but she doesn't want people to know she's married to me. She says she's doing it for my protection because she's a very religious person, and she gets
Right.
into a lot of internet wars with people over her faith and stuff and all that kind of stuff, and she doesn't put her last name on her profile, but so when I'm doing a happy birthday to her on because it's obligatory now, you have to leave for everybody, you have to leave a birthday greeting on their birthday, and I try to make it seem like I'm just a nobody on there, but it just feels very weird. Like if I were doing that, she'd be sure I was cheating. But I just see on Twitter right now, Elizabeth is trending, which is I'm going to screenshot.
You say trending?
Trending. It says trending Elizabeth, but it can't be about her. Can't be. Even though GD put out a prayer for her yesterday.
No, the Reverend did, because GD doesn't. Yeah, GD doesn't pray.
I'm
GD
sorry,
says,
I fucking broke that little 5th, 9th, 13th wall, whatever wall you have going on there.
Oh, you think if you think that's wait till you see when GD Fenderson. Wait till you see when I interview the Reverend for Done Way Past Funny.
Oh, wow, that'd have to be difficult. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all Asian shit. If I go into why Elizabeth is trending, it's all Asian stuff written in that language that those symbols that white Americans can't read at all. I don't know what the fuck it's all Asian. I don't know if it's Japanese, Chinese, whatever symbols, whatever those.
Well, is it curvy or straight lines? If it's straight lines, then it's more than likely Asian.
It's probably it looks like a Chinese menu, or it could be anything. Chinese.
If it's curvy, it looks like Middle Eastern.
Maybe no, it's definitely Asian. Some of it looks like the, anime, so that's Japanese, right? The anime.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know at all.
You guys, I only have one news story. Do you want to do news at all?
Yeah, let's do news. Hold on, no, you can't do news without the.
I know.
All right. All news is breaking news, breaking ball, and breaking hearts. It's One Nut Willie. All right, it's over. You can talk. You can start.
There's got to be a delay. I don't get it. I don't even see the thing. It's not even played for me yet. It'll play probably in about 20 seconds.
Oh,
it's so weird.
Well, we are working on getting you a professional setup out there, so maybe that'll.
Yeah. All right. So here's the news. People around the globe are mourning their close friend Chandler Bing as actor Matthew Perry has passed away. Perry, who was 54, drowned, which is surprising because I thought if anyone would have went out like the Lizard King, it would have been Ross. All right. Anyway.
That's funny. Matthew Perry, back in the day of MySpace, because somebody put on Matthew Perry just unfriended us all on Facebook yesterday the day before. He actually did that on MySpace. I don't know what the hell. He must have been drunk or as high as a fucking kite. He went and added everybody as a friend, and everybody on MySpace. He added everybody on MySpace as a friend, and then sobered up and started deleting everybody one by one until he got to all 70,000 or whatever, how many friends he had. But so that was an actual thing. Somebody was saying that it was in bad taste and too soon and all. Like, come on. He can't use that joke 2 years from now. Nobody would fucking. It wouldn't mean nothing.
Right.
You couldn't even use it next week. So yeah. I feel bad for the guy, but listen,
Oh, totally.
he had a good life, right? He had a good run.
Yeah, but it's definitely. I mean, I'm sure everyone feels like it was cut short too soon. You know, the image that really got me is there was an image captured of I believe his stepfather like walking under the police tape near the scene, and just I mean, his face is just disbelief. Like how did this even fucking happen? You know what I mean? And
Well, that it is
um
kind of strange, like because according he was cleaned up. He was an a
yes,
recovering addict,
yes.
and they said no drugs were found in the scene. I don't know if they did a
Right. There's no
toxicology.
drugs or foul play suspected.
And there was no mustache found on his face. If there was a mustache on his face, he'd have had a flotation device and he would not have drowned because that's what saved Matt when he got knocked into his hot tub by his buck.
That's a long way to go for people who don't even know that fucking story.
Google it. Google it. They can Google it. Episode 478. No,
All right.
no, I'm just no.
Oh,
I'm just
Jesus.
That
Do you want to do on this day at all?
Sure, let's do on this day. Well, let's stay on Matthew Perry for just 1 second now.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Let's get on Matthew. No, I don't want to get.
Oh my God.
But
you know, you and your necrophilia. I swear to God.
yeah, no, no drugs found at the scene doesn't mean that that could have meant he did all the drugs.
I mean, I'm sure they'll do an autopsy because of his age and everything. I would
no
imagine.
booze left
Maybe
in the
not.
bottle.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're only, and I don't know, I don't know how long he was soaking in the hot tub for, but there's a reason you're only supposed to be in a hot tub, for so long, because it will weaken you,
No
and
doubt about it.
yeah, and and I've done it to myself. I've definitely stayed in there maybe maybe a little over 20 minutes or so, and then got out to go walk over to the pool and just been like, whoa, fuck, I'm not even functioning properly. So I mean, if he was relaxing too long, he might have just passed the fuck out and drowned. You know what I mean?
Early springtime 1987. I was playing with a band called the Mountain Magic Band. They were out of Clifton Forge, Virginia, which is on the West Virginia border, and we were playing in someplace in West Virginia, I think Covington, West Virginia. And after the gig, people were having an after party for the band, and I got in the hot tub, and they handed me some moonshine whiskey. I was drinking the moonshine in the hot tub, and there was this fat, ugly girl in the hot tub with me, and it didn't take 20 seconds before I was telling her she was fucking beautiful. I mean, the hot tub and the whiskey combined had me completely inebriated to the fact that I was telling this really fat, unattractive woman how beautiful she was. And then I was like, hey, you guys fucking with my wallet? Who's got my wallet? I mean, it increases the drunk state really quick, the hot water, and they had it.
Sure.
So sure. Did you ever stop to think how much that woman had to drink to get in the hot tub with you?
At the time, first of all, let me just say, we're talking about the 80s. I was a fucking smoking hottie Adonis in the 80s. I was a gorgeous male specimen. I was the kind of guy who people who weren't gay would become gay for because he was just that good looking. That's how.
Oh my God!
Yeah, okay. but she may have looked at you and went, he's cute. He's too cute for me. I like him looking more like I like a rhinoceros. I like a man who's got skin like a rhinoceros.
No, absolutely not. She was the town whore. That's why she was there. I think it was her hot tub. To be honest.
Oh, it was her. Of course it was. Of course it was. Because that's what you draw. That's how you draw them in.
Yeah, but I guess the point I was trying to make is how the hot tub increases your drunkenness exponentially, really quick. Yeah. So that could happen. Just one drink.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it changes your metabolism in some way. Like when you're.
It sucks all the water out. It sucks all the water out of your body. And therefore, you have less water. You have more concentration of drugs and alcohol in your body because all the pure water has been sucked out through osmosis.
Okay, yeah, sure. I could. Buy that for $1.
I don't know when I tuned out when he said "sucks all."
Only
This
hey,
is me talking, not Willie.
He only tuned out because he heard you talk about sucking. His dick got hard and his brain lost blood.
Yeah, when I look, see, I'm the one between we and Willie. If I say it sucks all, it really could be a non-sexual thing. With Willie, with me, you can wait and see. With Willie, you can just assume. As soon as you go, suck, it's like, oh, it's sexual.
Yeah.
I mean, God damn it, that's so fucking fair. Did I tell you about the podcast we tried to do while I was in South Dakota?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
God.
Why, do you have something more to add to that?
No, but I was just, I thought, I can't remember, like, if I told you, but at one point, Preston was one of the guys that was doing.
Yeah, he was talking about not everything's about your dick. Not every show.
Yeah, he was like, I refuse to let this podcast to be an advertisement for your dick.
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, I swear to God, I'm not trying to let it be. He's like,
I have to say,
like,
I'm sorry, or we're not done talking
no,
about
go
your
ahead,
dick.
please. Your thoughts are definitely more important, I swear.
I have to say, Governors is the best comedy club ever. The best comedy club on the planet. Governors, it's just fabulous. I love Governors. You know I love Governors, and we're on the Governors podcast network. Jimmy Dore, speaking of podcasting, is there this weekend. It's called a special event. Now, are you guys fans of Jimmy Dore? I'm not.
That's Dumbledore's brother. Yeah.
Dumbledore. Yeah. Now, Jimmy Dore's got a popular podcast. Jimmy Dore used to be known as a far left wing guy. Now he's a far right wing guy, and he's just changed his audience. He basically exchanged his audience from far left cult to far right cult, and so there, people who used to love him now hate him. People who used to hate him now love him. He's at Governors November 2nd. They're calling it a special event. The reason I'm bringing him up, and because he left a post on Twitter this morning about how he quit smoking weed 2 weeks ago, but he's exhausted and depressed, and he's wondering if this is a factor of quitting weed or if there's something really wrong with him. And I'm inclined to say there's something really wrong with him. There's something really wrong with him for the last 2 years since COVID is what broke him. It's just like it broke. Listen, I wasn't a fan when he was an extreme leftist. I'm not a fan when he's an extreme rightist. But COVID seems to have broke a lot of. But there's something wrong with him. I quit weed, and it did not make me tired. It did not make me fatigued. It did not. All the things he's describing as like a depression thing. When I quit weed, I get anxious, for a long period of time, but I'm tired and depressed, and all that stuff is not part of the pulling away from smoking weed deal.
It sounds like he was unknowingly self-medicating a previously hidden condition. Now that he's quit the weed, he's found the condition that he was self-medicating.
Oh, good one, Dr. Rev.
That's a solid.
You look like him sometimes.
That's a solid.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. Watch this. Let me show you. Something. Okay, with the light, it's me, right? Without the light, watch this. This is we've done this so many times. Watch. With the light, me. Without the light, hey everybody, hey, hi.
Oh.
With the light, yeah. Hey, hi.
It's kind of like it's like Clark Kent in his glasses.
Yeah, it's the lighting.
Yeah. I found Ben Bailey will be there November 11th at Gov's main room, by the way. Ben Bailey.
Oh, that's right. He just did Sioux Falls.
Oh, really? Well, I've invited him to be
he
on
did the Orpheum Theater.
I've invited him to be on the program. I've met him once before. He probably doesn't remember, but I just invited him to be on the program. This is the thing. I'm going hard now at comedians that I want to be on the program. I'm still putting out the advertisements, and we'll take all the people who are open mic to like 5-6 years. We'll take all them as guests. Sure, we'll love to talk to them, but I want to really go hardcore press on the people that I want, and he's one of the people I really want to. Cash Cab, if you're not familiar with Ben Bailey.
Love Cash.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with Cash Cab, kind of.
Yeah.
I've
He's a very good comic as well.
I've seen advertisements for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't surprising because he's very funny on the show. You know,
Right.
he's very quick. He's very witty. I like Ben Bailey a lot.
He used to do a show many years ago now on it was like supposedly it was on A&E. It was like one of these super genius guys who answers questions about everything. Like, and they'd pick a topic and have audience questions come in. I forget what the name, what that show was, but like so he was.
You mean Freaks and Geeks or whatever?
No.
Or Beat the Geeks?
No, I don't. I'm not going to get it. It's too far in the past for me to remember it right now. But it was like a fictitious genius that was he was supposedly answering the questions for, but the guy was like a hermit or something, so wouldn't answer the questions for himself. So questions would come in for this fictitious genius guy, and he would do all the answering for it. I think they fucked up the website on Govs because when I hit Bohemia, I get a calendar, like my calendar, which I shouldn't get. I should just get a straight. I don't see any. Jason Salmon at McGuire's this weekend. That's all I wanted to mention. So Jason Salmon at McGuire's, and who's in brokerage? One more schedule. Belmore. All-Star Comedy Sunday Funnies Night. See, All-Star Comedy is just like a showcase of potluck, I guess. I don't like that. That's the toughest thing for a comedian is when people aren't coming to see you. They're coming to see comedy in general, and they have no idea who you are and what you do. I
don't mind that. I love that.
Really?
Yeah, no,
I don't mind it either. Yeah.
Like, I have no problem going into, like, because I would prefer, because like when I went to Dallas, nobody knew me there. I didn't know those crowds didn't know me at all, and that's why winning the crowd vote when I did that competition there, winning the crowd vote at each level of that competition meant so much more to me in Dallas because I don't have fucking fans there. And so for me to win the fucking crowd vote that night, that means I was definitely the funniest motherfucker because that means that people, voted and cheered for me when it was their buddy that brought them.
Not to rain on your parade too much. I did in 2001. We did a benefit at Fort Dix in New Jersey. Talent, the agent I was working with at the time called me up and said, "Can you come and do a benefit?" And the band wouldn't do it, so I grabbed the bass player and me, and we were going to do this benefit at Fort Dix, and we sat through probably 15 of the worst acts. And if you've ever played on a military base and the acts before you are bombing, they don't hide it. You suck, and they throw shit at it and booing people off the stage. And so now it's time for us to go up, and we're using a sub drummer we never met before. Just grabbed a drummer from another band, and we went up, and they treated us like we were the Beatles landing at Chase Stadium, like we were fucking. And it was just a factor of people sucked so fucking bad that anything
you were resembling
decent entertainment, was going to be amazing. And the agent came to me and said, "Oh, thank you so much. You saved the show. You guys were great." I said, "No, we sucked. It's just we don't suck as bad as everybody else on your fucking line."
I did too. I've done a few contests, and I don't even do them anymore. But there was one that I thought mattered. Two actually that I thought mattered to me because they were both. The prize was something I wanted. One of them was the hosting gig, and another one was like a show in Mexico. So both the prizes I wanted. So I really wanted to win those particular contests. Both those contests, after my performance, the other comedians were going around to the tables telling the people not to vote for me. So that's how I knew I was the funniest motherfucker. Yeah. Because my wife was going, Are you hear that? I said, yeah, I did. I thought there was, but yeah, they're like going to their friends saying, don't vote for G.D. Fenderson. Don't vote for G.D. Fenderson. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Not to rain on your
when they're lobbying against you and you still win, I get that.
Not
totally
to
get
rain
that.
on your parade too much.
Oh Jesus, fucking this guy.
But remember, if you remember just, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour ago, I was talking about how I want Podcast Cringe to come and do a terrible review. That can work negatively in the opposite way. And that's why so if somebody was coming around to me saying, don't vote for G.D. Fenderson, I would put G.D. Fenderson down. That's kind of.
Yeah, but they were their friends. They were saying to their friends, like they brought their 9
doesn't
or 10
matter. My
friends.
friend told me,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
My friend
Yeah,
told me,
see-
don't do something. I'm going to do it.
Now, my table, literally, my table, there was a woman on the show, and actually, she did the same. This is the second week. She did the exact same set the second week that she did the first week in the competition. But in the second week, she wore tighter clothes and more revealing breastises.
Breastises.
Okay. Yeah,
But she
breastises.
did better, didn't she?
No, she was not. She was on. My wife said, and my wife goes. He said, my imagination, or is she hotter? I said, she's the same person. She's got more breastises, and she lowered her skirt so that her skirt is closer to the waterline. So, and I said, and my wife goes, can I vote for her? And my whole table says, can we vote for her? I said, vote for whoever you want to. I said, I'm not afraid of the competition. Vote for who you think is funny. And they didn't vote for me either. No, I'm just teasing.
Right. No, you know what? No, for real. I would tell my people, like my people that come to me, if I was in a competition, I want my people to vote for who the fuck they think the funniest is. Don't vote for me because I'm your fucking friend. You know,
right?
That
Well,
ain't how I want to get
people.
anyway.
Right. They got to pick 3 people, so it's like they picked me, they picked her, and then they knew whoever else they were going to vote for. But the other tables, you know, they were people like there was an active campaign to keep me off of the next week. So.
Right.
Well, I you know, I hate to break your heart here, but
fucking this guy.
My parents told me not to try the marijuana, but I did. I tried the marijuana.
Of course you did.
So my point is that who do you respect more than your parents? And they told me not to do something. If my friends tell me don't vote for something, I'm going to vote for something. So
I think you might have what's called oppositional defiance
contrarian.
disorder.
I'm
maybe look that up.
It's called being a contrarian. I'm just a contrarian, and you can't say contrarian without.
Oh, that's all. So okay, this is the thing because I had like a long ass thread on Facebook of me and many other people discussing whether or not you can say this gypsy, okay? But like, okay, explain this to me. I am because to me, if I identify with the culture of that in such a way that I adopt it unto myself, isn't that a good fucking thing that I'm accepting of a culture that's not mine? You know what I mean? Like, see, this is what I don't understand about the dynamics of this.
Listen,
is it like
no? If you came to the Italian American Association, and there is such a thing on Long Island, and you start talking like a guinea, you're gonna get fucking a gun shoved up.
But okay, no, I'm not saying being disrespectful and like
No, even if you're just trying to be one of us. And it just we can tell that you're not one of us. And I'm not saying we, because I would have the same fucking problem. But if you walked into a group of Italian American Civic Association type thing, and were just generally trying to blend in, and they realize, hey, wait a minute, you don't look at what's your last name, Conway? We're gonna stick a gun up here. We're going to blow the other testicle off and then blow some of your anus out, and we're going to shoot you up, dude. You can't. No. If you're, I hear what you're saying, but in some cultures they don't like even acknowledging that you find something admirable about their culture and want to adopt it, appropriate it, I think is the word. No, you're not gonna get away with that everywhere. Maybe some places, not everywhere. But my friend Frank, who is an Italian American, was playing with the Gypsy Felons on Friday night. I wonder if they get the same kind of flack that you got. The band,
right? Yeah. See, like because like And I mean, listen, dude. Like I've been, I'm an entertainer. I travel around. I'm married to someone that practices magic. I mean, these are all very jiffy fucking things, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how you can be upset about somebody that just identifies with your culture. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It make to me it seems much more hateful, in my opinion, to be mad at somebody that wants to embrace another culture. You know what I mean?
Remember what Henry Hill said, and Henry Hill should know. And I believe me, I identify with Henry Hill because I'm not a full-blooded Guinea. If you got to be Italian all the way, so I can trace all your roots all the way back to the old country. And if you're not,
Right.
this is all I know is
Look, I can trace my roots all the way back to my scalp, and I think that I can pass
And
for
they're
anything.
white. They're white. Those roots are white. I don't know if you know that.
That's what that was what I was going to say next. Even though I'm 54% Nigerian. When I follow my roots back, they going white.
Wait, you're Nigerian? You're one of these
much.
fucking guys that writes me emails telling me that I just inherited $25 million?
Well, actually, I'm not one of the ones that write you. I'm one of the ones. How should I put it? I don't write. I ask because I'm not a complete Nigerian. I'm only 54%.
Right.
So I don't write. I just ask because I'm 27% white.
Oh, gotcha.
If I may, I'd like to take a second to just kind of clarify something.
You just took a second.
You're right.
And you didn't clarify anything.
All right, we'll give you 100 seconds. Go.
All right. So I just want to say that I appreciate people's patience with me, and I definitely appreciate discussions about these issues because as somebody who grew up pretty much just around white people in the middle of the fucking country, like a lot of this shit is honestly very fucking confusing to me. Like I don't understand why people feel the way they feel about these things because even though my dad was definitely what I consider a closet racist. Like he wasn't out and out racist, but he certainly had racist thoughts and ideas that he didn't really he wasn't boisterous about. But if he was like backed into a corner and you asked him about his opinion, he'd say some fucked up shit that I would never fucking agree with. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised in like outwardly racist thinking, and like Dave Chappelle, I was watching one of his really old bits where he was talking about how somebody had thrown a snowball at him and called him the N-word. And all these white people like came out of the I came from a community that would have been like that. If they saw people being racist, people would have said something like that's not okay. You don't treat people that way. You know what I mean? So I have such a hard time wrapping my head around all these fucking issues sometimes because I don't get what the fucking big deal is. Why is everyone so fucking judgmental? It makes no goddamn sense to me.
Well,
and that was probably way over my 100 seconds.
You're way over 100 seconds. My father was not a racist, but he did say something. I never heard him say the N-word ever in his life, but he did say Molignan, which kind of
yeah, that is the N-word in Italian.
It is. And he would say stuff like in football, like if a black guy fumbled the ball, he'd say stuff like if it were watermelon, he wouldn't have dropped it, and that kind of shit. He would say stuff like that. But right. he was a baseball coach, and he was the only baseball coach in the town that I grew up in that had black players on his team. There were two brothers, Rudy and Phil Crawford. Rudy was as fast as anything, and Phil was was even faster and center field, but Phil couldn't hit for shit. My father took him under his wing, and Phil Crawford was like my father's pet project. And there was a game happened, and I'm 9 years old, and this is the message that I got. A couple of stories that are intertwined here. Final game of the season, and only 9 players show up on my father's team, which means he just has enough to field. So Phil Crawford, who can't hit, has got to be in the lineup. And Rudy is a guy who hits, and he's their speed demon. They're playing the game. This guy, I can't remember his name now. Marino is his last name. He was pitching a perfect game. Fucking unbelievable. Pitching a perfect game. They got 9 players. Rudy Crawford comes up top of the 9th, or top of the 6th, because they only played 6 innings. And he hits a single, and he's going to try and stretch it into a double. And he slides into second, but because the fields were just like terrible in those days, not taken care of, he breaks his fucking arm sliding into second. The manager of the other team goes, "Hey, the fucking end broke his arm. You got to forfeit." And my father went, "What'd you call him?" He grabbed the bat, and he got the coach up against the fence there, and he's choking him with the bat. And the guy's own team, all these white kids, are going, "Yeah, Mr. Nappo, kill a fucker." And but he's celebrating that this guy, Rudy Crawford, just broke his arm. Black kid, and calling the N-word up and down, and my father was beating the hell out of him. And that was an important message to me. All-Star game comes, and Phil Crawford hits the longest fucking home run that anybody. This guy couldn't fucking hit ever. And my father's out there celebrating, and the coach on the other team said, why you care so much about this? And my father again went off on him, and he almost got arrested for it. They called the cops, and everybody in the town. This is the All-Star game. Everybody in the town is there watching my father like beat the fuck out of this guy for calling it. And so that registered with me. And then about a week later, my brother was having a pool party, and this guy Jimmy Merrick showed up. Jimmy Merrick was the black catcher on the team, and he shows up with a bunch of his black friends at my house in a very Italian neighborhood. Those people aren't allowed down here. And they started walking, and the neighbors are giving my father shit. And he's like, my father went to war with a bunch of like hardcore ginzos saying, "These are my son's friends. Don't you dare fucking insult them." So what I took away from that is, even though my father said some things that were like really, it would make you think he's a racist, there was not a hate in his heart. And he set an example of, you stand up for people who you care about, and you don't let let other people treat them like shit.
And that was the beginning of that chant that they still do to this day. Muyan 1-1, Muyan 1-1.
I've never heard that one. I've never heard that one.
When one of my first jobs, when living in Sioux Falls years ago, like back in like 2001, I was working at this car wash, and there was this black dude that worked there named Juan, and I loved hanging out with him, dude. But like the weird thing about hanging out with Juan is we went over to his place, and he lived with his parents, and his grandma also lived in the house and stuff like that, and you could smoke weed in his bedroom, but you had to go out to the garage to smoke a cigarette, right? And so we had smoked a little bit of weed in the bedroom. We go out to the garage to have a cigarette, and all of a sudden, now it's an attached garage, and there's like a regular door, but also a screen door, and we had shut both doors because we don't want smoke to get back into the house. But all of a sudden, the regular door opens, and there's Juan's grandma, who's probably about 330 pounds, completely fucking naked. And she goes, "Juan, you have a phone call?" And Juan's just like, "Grandma, I got friends over." And I was like, why the fuck does you having friends over make a difference on whether or not your fucking grandma is walking around fucking naked in the house, yo? Like, that's not some normal ass shit. Come to find out, it is some normal ass shit in a lot of black households. Did they just fucking run around naked with each other? Which was a weird thing for me to find out.
Black households I've ever been in. I've never seen Never seen that, and I've got a lot of black
He
friends.
said it. Okay, so did he lie to me? Did he say that it was a race thing? And it's
Maybe
just
in a
they're
different
just
part of the
fucking
country,
weirdos?
but not here on Long Island. No, I've never seen, and I've been in at least 1,000 black houses. I've
See, this is
never,
part of why I'm so confused. You know,
I've never seen that.
like that because people will fucking tell you bullshit, and you know if you don't know, you
It
don't
could be
fucking know.
true
You
in
just
Iowa.
believe.
Listen, it
You
could be true in Iowa.
fucking
I'm very
God.
disappointed to find out that you tried the marijuana. It's very, very disappointing
What?
to me.
Me?
Yes, I'm very
Listen.
disappointed that you tried.
You know why I tried marijuana in the first place? This is no bullshit, you know, and this so I had a number of friends that smoked weed, pretty much all of them. All my friends smoked weed. And you know, I hung out with them.
So the
and
number
stuff,
is
so I was
all.
around them and I would smell like it, you know what I mean? And dude, my mom, when I was 13, I remember my mom just fucking and I was stressed. I don't remember what was really going on at that time or whatever, but I remember that I was really, really stressed out about shit. Stuff was really bothering me. And I come home one day and my mom is just on my fucking case telling me that, oh, I know you're getting high and blah, 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 blah. And I was just, you know what, Ma? You know what? I have never gotten fucking high before. But if you want to keep fucking telling me I am, I'm going to go get fucking high. And I fucking left the house. I went right over to my fucking friend's house, and I was like, "Let's get fucking high." And you know, like, dude, I was so fucking tired of being told that I was doing it that I just went and fucking did it. Like
Wow.
now you can be right. Now you can be right. You know.
You know
But
why
yeah, 13.
I
was
tried the
13.
marijuana? You want to know why I tried the marijuana?
Huh.
Because the LSD just wasn't wearing off.
Oh, fuck.
That's the truth. I mean, I would on one of these trips like it was never fucking ending. It's like,
Oh god, those are the worst. Those are
oh,
the worst though.
yeah, that's
Like,
the worst thing about LSD is it lasts way fucking too long.
yeah, well, and I mean, you know, maybe if you don't take 10 hits at a time, it helps. You know, like fucking,
Well, no, in those
like,
days, it was bladder acid, and you would like take a
yeah.
quarter, and you take a quarter, and it take a while to hit you before you. So you take another one, and then it's still, and then by the time it all starts hitting you, it's like they all hit you together, and like, oh, I should.
That's what happened to me with that Dramamine. I got really fucking high on Dramamine one time, and because I took a whole tube, like 12 fucking pills, and like 45 minutes later, and I was drinking, I was drinking a 6-pack of beer, I remember, and like 45 minutes later, I didn't really feel anything yet, and I knew I was supposed to be like having some sort of hallucinations or whatever. So I took a whole nother fucking tube, 12 more fucking pills. So I took 24 fucking Dramamine, 2 full fucking tubes, and bro, I didn't have a regular thought for 3 fucking days. Like, and my friend that was like watching over me was so fucking sick and tired of me by the end of it that like I'm surprised that dude even still talks to me. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like I was so fucking difficult to deal with. But he also decided to take me out into public places, which like you know, you did that to yourself, bro. You took somebody that you knew was fucking tripping balls out to go eat at the country kitchen and to the mall. Like those weren't good ideas, bro.
We went to midnight mass and a
Oh
bunch
my
of 10
god,
and
what
11-year-olds.
tripping? You went to church
Yeah,
tripping?
a
Hell
Christmas,
no.
Christmas
Hell no.
midnight mass.
Hey,
yeah,
ain't
Christmas
no
Eve.
way I'm having the crucifix starting to fucking talk to me.
Oh
You
no,
know what I mean?
we
Jesus
got caught.
just
We
gets
got
down from the
caught.
cross and starts having a
Yeah.
conversation and shit. Fuck no.
Yeah,
Fuck
we
no.
were in the balcony, talking loudly, and there were microphones in the balcony. And we got the entire church alerted to the fact that we were on LSD. 10, 11
That's-
years old. Not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I'm
bro.
tripping my balls off. And then the nun came up, and she was like, "Boys," and we were like laughing at the nun. And then she finally told us, "There's a microphone in front of you." And we looked, and the entire church is like turned around looking up at us.
Why is there fucking microphone up there?
They have because when people sing,
Oh, the choir probably.
yeah,
Probably the choir. That's where the choir probably was.
right. So everybody, the entire town looking at us, and then we walked out in single file like, oh, I think we should leave.
Oh, that's so great.
And then
I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back.
no, we're gonna end. Don't I'll let you go. We can just wrap it up because
Okay.
it's 1:45. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Good seeing you, GD. Good seeing you, Matt.
Go take a break.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Go pee.
Yeah. Got any parting words that you want to say before we go? Any parting thoughts?
I just feel missed out that I didn't get to talk about my black friends. Everybody else got to talk about their black friends.
Wait, you have black
no, I'm
friends?
just kidding. No, I'm just
I don't think you have any black friends. You have all white friends, right?
I know. I do have black friends. Yeah.
One.
Two.
Uncle Walt. Uncle Walt.
Uncle Walt's not a real person.
He's a real person. He's a real person playing. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all playing. Mine Dog isn't a real person. Uncle Walt is a real person. He's a real human being. He's a good guy.
Not like the Reverend. The Reverend's a real person, but
right.
But
yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to Walt. You know what? A bunch of people we gotta kind of recycle and have them back on again who haven't been on in a while and just touch base and see where they're at. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track.
That's him now.
It was him. No, that was the Govs thing saying we got to get off Govs, which I'm going to do right now. Govs is actually the best comedy club, 3 comedy clubs in the world. It's Levittown, Main Room, the Brokerage in Belmore, and McGuire's in Bohemia. Best comedy clubs ever.